Hello everyone, my name is Natalie Ledwell and this is The Inspiration Show. Today on the show I have a very special guest, and a gift. And we're going to be talking about something very dear to my heart actually, and something I think is very important. It's an important message for women these days, and that is something called the Permission Project. So I would like to welcome my guest, V. Lynn Hawkins. How are you, Lynn?
Hi, Natalie. I'm well, thanks. Thanks for inviting me.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. So before we get into talking about the project and this amazing book that you have coming out, I would like to, just start with your story, your background and how you got into doing this.
Well, my story, the short version, starts with me as a little girl being very much formed and formulated around the gifts of my father. And to the extent that my father contributed an amazing amount of life to who I became, even as a little girl, what I realized was when I was 7 and he passed away, life became very different. And growing up, the oldest girl in a family of 4, I became my mother's wife, and I didn't have the opportunity to really find myself until I was grown and had 2 kids of my own. Single parenting, career woman. My kids used to tease me that I had 5 jobs, Mom. My mom's got 5 jobs. But what that taught me was an awful lot. And the message was that I'd actually given myself to permission to be successful in who I chose to be. And while I still had a lot of things that I was working through, it became clear to me that my 30-plus year career in commercial mortgage banking and commercial real estate served me well to come to the point of where I'm now a successful business coach and funding strategy muse, and I really bring the concept of business and innovative strategy, funding strategies to business owners, especially women. I've got an affinity for women business owners, and I've used that as a way also to start a project. And it's a book project that you and I have talked about, and it's really the expression of what going this journey of life so far has meant to me. And I'm sure that we've heard someone either say to us or we've told someone else, just give yourself permission to be beautiful or to have this or to do that. And for me, it was embarking on this project that I really realized that I was the one responsible for giving myself permission, but I was also the one who in past had done so, and I could see it very clearly at this point in time.
Right. So I know that, like I said, this is a very important project, and part of the reason I love this project is because it gives a platform and a voice to women to maybe be a little bit vulnerable and to share some of the challenges that we all go through, but for some reason we kind of feel like we have to put up this strong front and that we can't, really share our real story. Is that what you've been finding with some of the women that you've been working with?
Absolutely. So first of all, the book came about as a divine download. In embarking on the next phase of my business, I was looking for a way actually to keep getting out of bed every day. I had just lost my only son to a motorcycle accident, and I was questioning what life had in store for me. And even with moving across the country to resettle in order to help to raise my grandson, my oldest grandson, who now was fatherless, the question became very clear. What are you going to give yourself permission to be, do, or have for the rest of your life? Things have changed, change your dreams, and just change them slightly, because I'm still seeing the dreams that I had, a couple of years ago. They're just a little modified now. And to be able to actually stand in the divine light of giving myself permission to be who I wanted to be, how I wanted to be, yet also be okay with what I needed to now do in my life, which is help raise my grandson, it became the emphasis for a book. And then because of the business that I'm in, it was like, well, Lynn, you can't do this book alone. It's too big of a message, and there are so many others who could contribute to this message. So then it became a co-authored project. And then it became one of my mentors saying, if you want to really make an impact on the world, make your message into a movement. And then it became a movement, and it is all about giving yourself permission to be who you were created to be to the fullest, to do what you were put here to do to the fullest, to have what you have always dreamed of that made life worth living and that thing worth going for. And in doing that, it brought about the whole book series. So this is a series of books. They're permission guide books. And the books are basically the stories that people tell that are giving themselves permission. We as women, especially women entrepreneurs, are so limiting of ourselves as far as permission. And I'm hoping each of the co-authors, we're hoping that this book will really be the movement where women stand up for themselves, for each other, and for the young people that are coming behind us. And the name of the book is Permission to Be Powerful. 20 co-authors telling their stories and giving one huge strategy that they used in their journey to help them to really make that move to being powerful, and not in the sense of tyrannical, but in the sense of knowing who we are and why we're doing what we're doing, that whatever impact we may have in the world, we know that that's why we're here, to make a difference and be a difference. And the book project just kind of blossomed from there and became more of a movement when we added the component of an outreach program where young girls and women will study this book of 20 co-author stories and learn the techniques that they actually used, and then have an opportunity to write their own stories and potentially be published in a book series called Permission to Win. So I'm just really excited about it. I'm thrilled to be on your show today talking about it, and I so appreciate you because you've agreed to write the foreword for us. Thank you.
I know, like I said, this is a project that I think its time has come. And it's time for us as women to really step up and go, you know what? Yes, there are some of us that have had success, but it's not like it's been an easy road. And to actually share some of the challenges and the tribulations that we actually went through on that journey, so that that we can, help other women who may be facing challenges and go, well, everyone else has done it easy, but why am I finding it so hard? When really, when we're honest, like we all have, have bumps along the road to get to the success that we have achieved. So tell me some of the authors or co-authors that you have involved in the project.
Well, I have a couple of co-authors who are in the United Kingdom, and they're spread all across the United States. There's a co-author in Rhode Island who's she calls herself My Coastal Muse. That's the name of her business, and she's actually a coastal lifestyle creator and promoter. We have one of our co-authors is doing an wilderness outfitters program where she actually takes women who are survivors of cancer and brings them into nature environments. We've got a co-author who's a real estate developer, and she brings women into the knowledge and the framework of building wealth in the manner of real estate. We've got, I mean, you name it, we've got it. I've tried to reach into the realm of business that these women not only are doing great business, they're looking to do more business and helping more with their businesses, as well as their contribution to the book.
Right. So tell me one of the biggest insights or one of the biggest revelations that you came across when you were interviewing people for the book.
Well, I guess one of the biggest revelations that I had was that there are still so many of us who have not gotten to the point of truly being honest and ready to give ourselves permission to say yes or say no, or drive the business the way that we feel it needs to be, which is heart-centered and purpose-driven. And there were so many women who actually wanted to be a part of the book, but there was whatever obstacle or another, along with some of the things that I just mentioned, not enough time, not enough money, not enough something, which, you know, in some cases may even equate to that's just the mask that they've put on because there's some other thing that's really happening. But the women who have stepped up, even though a couple of them actually are saying, I'm totally petrified, but I know this is what I am supposed to do, and I'm doing it, and I'm excited about it. And that's the kind of courage. I'm giving myself permission to do it in courage in spite of the fear.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like stepping into or leaning into this new chapter or this new version of how you choose to live your life. You know, I know well, a lot of regular viewers of the show know that my husband and I separated last year, and we have this amazingly successful business, and we're helping people all around the world, and this is all wonderful. But it was interesting even for me, and I'm quite open about sharing how, you know, when I went through that, and then I'm sort of looking at the work, and so who am I when I'm not, you know, Glenn's wife, and what is this new version of me? You know, some of the things that were coming up for me was like, well, why would anyone want to listen to me now? Like, I can't even make my marriage work. I'm a failure. Like, you know, I'm supposed to have all the answers. I'm supposed to have, you know, I'm supposed to have everything together. But, you know, I can't even hold my marriage together. And I think, you know, stepping into that and going, you know what, I think that by sharing that and being able to help other women, you know, we have, so many of us are like, we get to onto the precipice of success, and then we get scared. You know, we don't give ourselves permission to step into that and really, you know, step into the success of all of that. So, so tell me some of the, you know, probably some of the biggest things that you felt personally, and things that you've given yourself permission for that's really helped to change your life for the better.
Well, very much like you, when I found myself separated and a single parent, it took some adjusting to. I admit it's been many years now, but I do recall that that was one of the first instances that I gave myself permission to be the best single parent that I could be. And I gave myself permission to do it differently than my mom did as a single parent. I gave myself permission to do it differently than actually anyone that I had seen, that I had come across, that people were writing about and talking about. And I have to tell you that that was a major move for me, because there was no one helping me. There was no support system, and I had to go out and create my own support system, and I gave myself permission to do that. I was a very introverted person growing up, and in my late 20s, I decided I wanted to be a fitness instructor. And it was funny, I gave myself permission to embark on that, and yet it took me 2 years, 4 different certifications that I had obtained, before a friend of mine finally said, why don't you stop. Just stop it and go do it. And don't you know that next day I went out searching for local gyms where I could go and substitute. Started out substituting. And I have to tell you, that was one of the best things that I had given myself permission to do, because what it confirmed for me was that I was not only a great fitness instructor, but I was a great leader, which was something that I aspired to be. And I ended up teaching fitness classes at one of the several gyms that I taught at. And one of my favorite attendees was a famous boxer back then named Evander Holyfield. And so you can just imagine the kinds of classes and, you know, funky stuff we were doing that came out of me, that I had to really give myself permission to be, do, and have in order for that to have occurred. And I was able to look back on situations like that that got me through this most recent tragedy in my life. No one should have to experience losing a child, whether they're young or old. And I just never thought that it would happen to me. And then to have the opportunity to be a part of raising my grandson and being open to the additional messages that were coming to me, because there were days that it was hard to get out of bed, and even giving myself permission to be okay with that was something new.
Yeah, which is very important. Very important.
Yes. Yes.
So, Lynn, if people want to find out more about the movement, to get connected with you, and to find out about the book, where can we send them?
They can go to Scott. That's me. Let me give you the movement web address first. It's permissionmovement.org. And you will find everything about the movement, about the book project, about the co-authors there. And you'll be able to actually click on a link there to get to the individual locations, web locations for each of the co-authors. Not all of the co-authors are up yet. We're still a work in progress, but we're anticipating that the book will actually be released, and we'll be doing our book launch sometime before the Thanksgiving holidays. So we're really excited, and one of the things that we're looking for is help in getting published. We have found an amazing publisher who is working with us and really helping us to see more than just writing a chapter in a book and what that takes, but how it is that we can use the book to get our message out, and then how it is that because of that message we will be gaining more interest and more look-sees as far as our business is concerned. And so I'm really grateful to have partnered with DU Press and Motivational Press in order to have all of that happen. They're going to help us with the book launch, and we're going to do a virtual book tour. So make sure that you are a part of the movement, because we're doing a permission slip campaign right now, where we're issuing permission slips for you to give yourself permission to love, to dream, to soar. And we want you to help us to get that message out.
Wonderful. And guys,
permissionmovement.org.
That's right. And if you just click on the banner to the side, you'll go through to the website from there as well. So thanks again, Lynn, for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure having you and sharing the permission movement with the world.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thanks. Now, guys, I encourage you to share this video. You can do that by clicking the Facebook and the Twitter share buttons on this page. Download the app if you haven't done so already, so you can watch the shows on the go. And make sure that you leave your email in the box on this page, because I would love to send you the Manifesting with the Masters video e-course, valued at $87, and I would love to send it to you for free. So until next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. We'll see you soon.